who this prince is.
Sure. Well, let's start by telling everybody that his nickname is Mr. Everything, precisely. It is well considered that he will at one point sit on the throne.
The Bugatti Chiron can reach speeds up to 261 miles an hour. It is said to be the fastest production car in the world.
In 2016, Bugatti made an announcement that nobody in the hypercar world saw coming. The world premiere Chiron and the Bugatti Vision Gran Turismo concept had both been sold to one buyer on the same day. That buyer turned out to be a young Saudi prince named Prince Badr bin Saud, known in collector circles by his Instagram handle B14. He is the grandson of the late King Abdullah of Saudi Arabia, and over the past several years, he has quietly built one of the most important Bugatti collections in the world. Not the biggest, not the loudest, but arguably the most significant. Today, we walk through every single one of his 4 Bugattis and the story behind how he got each one. Bugatti number 1, Bugatti Chiron. The first Bugatti in the collection is not just any Bugatti. It is the Bugatti, the one that started the modern era. The Chiron that sat on the Bugatti stand at the 2016 Geneva Motor Show.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Bugatti. The Bugatti Chiron is the new superlative in the automotive world.
Surrounded by cameras, journalists, and the kind of breathless press coverage that only the most important hypercar launches ever generate. The world premiere Chiron, the very first one ever shown to the public. To understand why owning this specific car matters so much, you have to understand what the Chiron meant when it debuted. Bugatti had spent more than a decade defending the legacy of the Veyron, the car that had broken the 250 miles per hour barrier and redefined what a road car could do. The Veyron had become an icon. Replacing it was in some ways an impossible task. Whatever came next had to be faster, more refined, more technologically advanced, and it had to carry the unbearable weight of expectations that the Veyron had created. The Chiron answered every single one of those expectations. An 8-liter quad-turbocharged W16 engine producing approximately 1,500 horsepower. A top speed limited by tires, not by physics. A price tag that started well above $2 million before options. And styling that took everything beautiful about the Veyron and pushed it into something more elegant, more aggressive, more clearly designed to dominate the next decade of hypercar history. But the production Chiron that any wealthy buyer could order was not the same as the Chiron that sat under the Geneva lights. That specific car, the world premiere unit, was unique. It was the first one. It was the press car. It was the one that posed for every official photograph used by Bugatti in their global launch campaign. It was the one whose image appeared on the cover of automotive magazines from Tokyo to New York. In Bugatti's internal hierarchy, it was treated as a piece of corporate history, not just a product. Internally, these world premiere units are usually retained by the manufacturer. They become part of the brand's permanent collection. They appear at anniversary celebrations decades later. They serve as touchstones for the company's identity. Selling one is rare. Selling the first Chiron, the symbol of an entire new era, was almost unheard of. Which is why the announcement on the 31st of July, 2016 stunned the industry. Bugatti officially confirmed that the world premiere Chiron had been sold, not auctioned.
Now this car, they're going to make only 500 of these. They've already sold half.
Not raffled, sold to a single private buyer. The customer, Bugatti explained, had been awarded the contract after submitting the most convincing bid. That phrase, the most convincing bid, became almost overnight one of the most quoted lines in modern hypercar history. The press release did not name the buyer immediately. Bugatti said only that he was a car enthusiast and Bugatti lover from Saudi Arabia. The industry began to speculate. There were dozens of Saudi royals known to collect hypercars. There were international businessmen with Saudi residence. Who could it be? The answer, when it emerged, came not from a Bugatti spokesperson, but from the buyer's own social media. Prince Badr bin Saud, grandson of the late King Abdullah of Saudi Arabia, posted photographs of the car on his Instagram account. The account, under the handle B14, already had a growing following among hypercar enthusiasts. But after the Chiron acquisition, it exploded. Every automotive publication on Earth began monitoring his posts. Every collector took note of his name. What did Prince Badr actually buy? On paper, a Bugatti Chiron. In reality, a piece of history. The exact same physical car that had defined the launch of the Chiron era was now sitting in his collection, with Saudi Arabian license plates, with photographs of it under the lights of his garage, with the unmistakable signature of a young man who understood that this particular Chiron was not just transportation. It was a trophy, a symbol, proof that, in the highly controlled world of Bugatti ownership, he had been selected from the entire global pool of potential buyers. The era of the Saudi prince had officially begun, and this was only the first car. Bugatti number 2. Vision Gran Turismo. The second Bugatti in this collection is, in many ways, even more fascinating than the first, because it was never supposed to exist as a real car at all. In 2015, Bugatti revealed the Vision Gran Turismo at the Frankfurt Motor Show.
This year's Frankfurt Auto Show is a stunning display of this year's hottest car.
As part of the famous Gran Turismo video game collaboration. The idea was simple. Major manufacturers would design digital-only hypercars for gamers to experience in simulation. Unreal machines, fantasy engineering, cars that lived in pixels, not garages. But Bugatti broke the rule. Instead of leaving it in the digital world, the company built a physical version at its Molsheim facility. It wasn't a road car. It wasn't a production model. It was a rolling sculpture powered by the same 8.0-liter quad-turbo W16 engine found in the Veyron and Chiron family. The design looked almost fictional, low, aggressive, and futuristic, like something designed for a racing universe that doesn't exist in reality. Inside, it was stripped down like a prototype fighter jet. Exposed controls, minimal comfort, pure focus on speed and engineering fantasy made real. Originally, it was never meant to be sold. Bugatti used it as a showcase piece, touring global auto shows in Geneva, Tokyo, and Monterey. It became a symbol of what the brand could do when freed from regulations, practicality, and road restrictions. Then came 2016, and a surprising shift. Through Bugatti's highly private invitation-based sales process, the Vision Gran Turismo was quietly offered to select clients. Around the same time, the world premiere Chiron, the most important reveal car of Bugatti's modern era, was also being assigned to a buyer. Both cars reportedly ended up going to the same name, Prince Badr bin Saud. That single moment changed how the industry viewed him. It wasn't just ownership anymore, it was access. The Chiron represented production history. The Vision represented imagination made real. Together, they formed a collection that covered both sides of Bugatti's identity, engineering reality and design fantasy. Photographs later surfaced showing both cars together in elite gatherings like Pebble Beach, instantly confirming what the hypercar world had already begun to suspect. But the story didn't end with ownership. Less than a year later, the Vision Gran Turismo appeared in Los Angeles, loaded onto a transport truck, and documented by automotive media. It was headed to a new collector in California. The move sparked questions across the hypercar community. Why would such a rare piece be released so quickly? The answer became part of his reputation. Prince Badr was not just a collector who stored cars. He was a collector who moved them like asses, treating hypercars as a living portfolio, rather than permanent trophies. And in that way, the Vision Gran Turismo became more than a concept car. It became proof that even the rarest machines in the world can still change hands quietly, if you are operating at the very top of the hypercar world. Bugatti number 3. La Voiture Noire III. Bugatti in this collection is the one that transformed Prince Badr bin Saud from a quiet hypercar collector into a global automotive figure whose name now circulates through every major enthusiast forum in the world. It centers around a car called La Voiture Noire, the black car.
This car is called La Voiture Noire. It's a one-of-one. It's a real GT car, and it's more than just a modern interpretation of the Bugatti Atlantic.
Unveiled by Bugatti at the 2019 Geneva Motor Show, it was never meant to be just another hypercar. It was a tribute to heritage inspired by the lost Type 57 SC Atlantic and built as a single, unrepeatable creation. The design alone looked like moving sculpture. Deep gloss carbon fiber, a continuous flowing body with no harsh brakes, and a silhouette so long and low it resembled a jet fighter, shaped by a luxury atelier rather than an automotive factory. Underneath, it carried the familiar 8.0-liter quad-turbo W16 engine producing around 1,100 horsepower, the final expression of Bugatti's combustion-era philosophy. Then came the price, approximately $16.7 million, about $18.7 million before taxes. At the time, it was officially the most expensive new car ever sold by a manufacturer. The announcement didn't just stay in car magazines. It crossed into mainstream news, finance media, and even cultural commentary, with debates about exclusivity, wealth concentration, and whether a single machine could justify such a figure. Bugatti refused to name the buyer. As always, silence became part of the marketing. Early speculation ran wild, from global football stars to tech founders and reclusive billionaires. No confirmation ever came. Then in June 2019, a single Instagram post shifted the entire conversation. Prince Badr bin Saud appeared at the Chantilly Arts and Elegance event in France, standing next to La Voiture Noire. No announcement, no statement, just presence. And in the hypercar world, presence is often more powerful than confirmation. The image spread instantly across automotive media, forums, and collector circles. In the absence of any competing claim, the conclusion formed naturally. This was the man behind the most expensive new car in history. What made this moment so significant wasn't just the car, it was the method. Unlike traditional ownership, there was no press release or formal unveiling. Instead, it was social visibility that established association. A single photograph at a highly exclusive event replaced paperwork, interviews, and official confirmation. In luxury collecting at this level, ownership is not always declared. Sometimes it is inferred. And Prince Badr understood that dynamic perfectly. Whether officially confirmed or not, La Voiture Noire became part of his legend, completing a collection already tied to Bugatti's most important modern creations, and reinforcing a reputation built not on statements, but on what the world could see, and what it chose to believe. Bugatti number 4, London Street, Chiron, the fourth Bugatti in the collection, is, in some ways, the most visible of them all. Because while the first 3 are show cars and one-off creations that lived primarily under museum lighting, the 4th is the production Chiron that Prince Badr actually drives. The one with Saudi Arabian license plates. The one that has been photographed stopping traffic on the streets of London during the Gulf summer migration season.
A stroll through one of London's most exclusive neighbourhoods will more than likely include crossing paths with some of the most expensive vehicles on the market.
Every year, in late June, the streets of London begin to transform. Wealthy families from across the Gulf, from Saudi Arabia, from the United Arab Emirates, from Qatar, from Kuwait, begin arriving in England for the summer season. They escape the brutal heat of the Arabian Peninsula and spend several months in the cooler European climate. And they bring their cars with them, by private jet, by airline cargo container, by specialized shipping companies that handle nothing but high-value automobiles. The cars arrive at Heathrow, are unloaded with white glove care, and find their way to the streets of Knightsbridge, Mayfair, and Park Lane. For the past several years, one of the most photographed cars in this annual migration has been a Bugatti Chiron with Saudi plates. Repeatedly associated with Prince Badr bin Saud, the car has been seen parked outside Harrods. It has been filmed in slow-moving traffic. It has appeared in viral videos shared by automotive enthusiasts who could not believe what they had just witnessed. Tourists have stopped mid-step to film it. Locals have learned to recognize the sound of its engine before it even comes into view. Children with their parents have pointed at it from sidewalks. The car has become, in its own quiet way, a London tradition. Production Chirons are rare enough on their own. Production Chirons that actually get driven on public streets are even rarer. Most owners keep them in climate-controlled garages, taking them out only for private track days and exclusive events. But Prince Badr's Chiron does not live in a garage. It lives in the world. It moves through cities. It gets seen. And in that visibility, it accomplishes something that the show cars and the one-off La Voiture Noire could never accomplish on their own. It humanizes the collection. It tells the public that this collector is not just hoarding trophies. He is actually using his cars. He is actually enjoying them. He is, in the most direct sense, a real enthusiast. This matters more than it might seem. In the luxury world, there are two types of collectors. There are warehouses and there are drivers. The warehouses buy cars and store them away from public view. They treat the vehicles as financial assets, hoping the value appreciates over time. They might post one photograph at the time of delivery and then never speak of the car again. The drivers, by contrast, buy cars and use them. They take them to events. They drive them through cities. They let photographers capture them. They become part of the ongoing public narrative of the brands they collect. Prince Badr is firmly in the second category, and Bugatti almost certainly knows this and values it deeply. Because when Prince Badr drives his Chiron through London, photographers capture the moment. The photographs spread across social media. They appear in news articles. They become part of the global story of what Bugatti ownership looks like. In effect, Prince Badr is not just driving his Chiron. He is providing Bugatti with continuous, free, high-quality marketing across every major platform on Earth. This fourth Bugatti also reveals something about the structure of the overall collection. The show cars and the one-off are the headline pieces, the trophies, the proof of access. But the production Chiron is the working car, the one that demonstrates that Prince Badr is not just a buyer of symbolic objects. He is a participant in the hypercar culture itself. He attends events. He drives through cities. He shows the world that even the most exclusive machines on Earth can, occasionally, be seen in their natural habitat, on roads, in motion, surrounded by daylight and curious onlookers. The pattern is clear. The fourth Bugatti in his collection is the one that takes the Saudi license plate to the streets of Europe, the one that turns abstract wealth into visible, tangible, photographable reality, the one that makes the entire collection feel less like a museum and more like a lifestyle. And that, in the end, is what makes Prince Badr's collection truly extraordinary. Not just the cars, not just the access, but the willingness to share them with the world. Some garages are private, others are invisible, and then there are garages that become part of automotive mythology. Somewhere in Saudi Arabia, behind doors most people will never see, sits a collection that the hypercar world quietly tracks in real time. 4 Bugattis. Not random purchases, not speculative assets, but some of the most important machines Bugatti has ever produced. From the world premiere Chiron that defined a new era, to a concept car that was never meant to leave a show stand, to one of the most expensive new cars ever built, and finally a production Chiron seen roaming the streets of London. At the center of it all is Prince Badr bin Saud, a royal collector whose choices didn't just follow Bugatti history. They helped define how that history is remembered.